So something I just want to mention before we jump into the video here, I finally got the PS5, so the majority of the gameplay in my videos is now going to be PS5 gameplay, including this one. It took like 2.5 months to get, but finally I no longer have 2013 Xbox One gameplay. But with that being said, I'm sure you guys are all aware of the protest or riots, whatever you want to call it, that happened at the Capitol on, I believe, January 6th. Well, it seems like we're not really in the clear yet with that whole situation at all. It might actually get worse because now there is actually potential for armed protest at all 50 state capitals. This is after the FBI sent out a warning this week to local law enforcement agencies about the potential for armed protest in all 50 states. Dozens of state capitals will be on alert in the coming days following calls among a mix of anti-government organizations for actions in all 50 states on January 17th. There's apparently information suggesting that people might storm government offices or stage an uprising if President Trump is removed from office. On Saturday, heavily armed demonstrators surrounded the Kentucky Capitol. The protesters dressed up in camouflage, carrying assault weapons and zip tie handcuffs, and the protesters vowed to continue to support Trump. So this is clearly a pretty, serious threat. It doesn't seem too realistic that there would be armed protest at all 50 state capitals, but it could happen. But either way, I mean, like with the situation in Kentucky, there's already armed protests going on at state capitals where people have firearms and zip tie handcuffs and stuff. It's clear that as we get closer to the inauguration, these threats are gonna get a lot worse. And I don't think we've ever seen anything like this where there's, a threat of armed protest at every single state capital. At least in my lifetime, I've never heard of anything like that. And with that being said, many states are pretty much already preparing for this whole situation. Many states have already begun taking steps to increase security and plan for additional violence and respond to the protests last week. On Monday, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers announced that he was activating the National Guard to provide support for Capitol Police. In Washington, they've called up to 750 National Guard troops to help protect the Capitol, where the legislature kicked off its annual session Monday, and they were quoted saying, "We sincerely hope for peaceful actions, but if that does not happen, we will be prepared." So even with this whole horrible threat of violence and what we saw at the Capitol a week ago, it's good to see that the states are taking these threats seriously and being prepared, because I'm sure the days surrounding the inauguration are gonna be a mess. And I mean, this whole situation, it seems a lot worse than what I really realized at first. Obviously, the whole situation at the Capitol shocked everyone. No one really saw that coming, but I assumed that was just kind of like a one-off event or something like that. So it's kind of crazy that there's a potential for violence at all 50 state capitals. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation down in the comments. Is this, worse than you expected? Or did you just, already assume things were gonna get this bad after the election? I assumed that there was gonna be some protests and stuff like that, but not armed protests at every state capital, raiding the Capitol buildings and stuff like that. And with that being said, that's where I'm gonna wrap up this video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. As always, you can follow me on Twitter and TikTok at RelexYT. And other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.